talk about Pinterest. So it's going to be everything about Pinterest marketing, how to get traffic, how to grow your business with Pinterest. And I have here an expert on Pinterest with me. I have Cara from carachace.com. Welcome to the show. I'm sorry, I don't know if I pronounce your name in the right way, actually, Cara.
You did. It's Cara Chace. I answer to both
Chace.
Because, yes, Cara Chace.
Cara
yes,
Chace.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here on the show. So for the people who don't know you, I always start with an introduction about the person I see here in the interview. So give us an introduction about yourself, about your story, how you became a Pinterest expert.
Yeah, sure. So I am the founder of Pinterest Power Up, which is a Pinterest marketing membership. It's not a course. It is a monthly membership where we deep dive into a lot of different aspects of Pinterest marketing. So I actually started off with general social media and digital marketing in 2011. I was the social media manager for a well-known metal band that some of your audience might or might not know. But it was my first job in social media. It was a lot of fun, and I realized that I was really good at the whole marketing thing. And I loved connecting with fans and coming up with really creative ideas for how to connect. So started my own business shortly after that. And then I decided to niche from general social media and digital marketing into Pinterest marketing about 2.5 years ago. And that was because I saw, the ROI on Pinterest far outdo everything else that I was doing with myself and my clients. So that's the short version.
Mm-hmm. And how did you learn everything that you know right now about Pinterest? Did you try new things? How did you come up to become an expert in that?
Completely self-taught, as pretty much everything has been for me. So yes, trying and testing. I have a background in criminal investigations, which is very data heavy. Mm-hmm. And so I'm very analytical. When I do things, I am all about the data and testing and really comparing different strategies and how they work. So yeah, I am definitely the person that gets into the weeds with data and testing and just seeing what works and what doesn't.
Right. So you can tell us basically that Pinterest is really important to grow a business and to grow traffic for your business, right? Even if it's not the sexiest social media. I don't know if you want to call it social media or is a search engine for you, but right now we have a lot of other things. We have Instagram, we have Facebook is still there. We have so many other things, but you still confirm to us that Pinterest is super important to get traffic.
It is. So that's the whole point of Pinterest, which you can't say about other social media. So I'm not going to knock other social media because they all have their place, right? They all have the things that they're really good at. But Instagram, they give you that one link to go out. Facebook doesn't want you to post anything that doesn't keep your audience on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Social media is really designed to be their own little worlds. Pinterest is actually designed to get people to click through to your website. It has far more in common with Google than it does Facebook or Instagram. So there is a place for social media in your general overall digital marketing, but Pinterest has a very different purpose. And to my mind, being the analytical person that I am, what I care about is people getting to my website. And that is why I have chosen to deep dive so much into Pinterest and how it works for businesses.
Right. So I guess that the question is, what kind of audience is on Pinterest? Because when I think about Pinterest and when people generally think about Pinterest, they think about recipes and they think about fashion and they think about furniture for your house. But there is any audience for any kind of niche or not?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's on Pinterest, actually. I just went to a retreat for the wedding industry, and we were talking about some of the different platforms and all of that, and everybody agreed, yep, everybody's on Pinterest. And you're right, there are those like traditional industries, recipes and DIY and home stuff and fashion. But at its core, Pinterest is there to help people figure out how to get inspired and solve a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So people go to Pinterest. Hi, Kiss had a cat.
Yeah, can you see him?
Yes,
Yeah. There is this cat sleeping. It's always there, and I keep that box. If you can see the box, there is a box that I keep in my house just because he loves it so much, and he sleeps always there. Yeah.
That's so cute. Oh no, what was I
You
saying?
lost your topic.
Lost
So
my channel. The cute kitty. Um,
I stopped you from that. Well,
okay, this is my fault.
well, at the end you were talking about the fact that there are usually Pinterest is used for fashion and all this
Thank
kind
you.
of usually.
So
Yeah.
Pinterest wants to be the place for ideas and inspiration, which it is. So not only are people going there to get inspired, whether it's their kid's birthday party or whatever they want to learn or do or put together, whatever they have on their brain, but they're also looking for how to solve a problem. That's what
Right.
I see a lot. So somebody who wants to know how to do a better to-do list, or somebody who wants to learn more about different kinds of marketing, someone who wants to get ideas for their website design, things like that. So it really is, there's no other way to put it in my mind. It's an idea and inspiration engine. So anybody that is in that frame of mind of wanting to learn something new or get inspired is on Pinterest.
Got it. All right. So, okay, let's get into the meat. Let's get into the important thing and the thing that why people are watching this video. So, how can we get traffic on Pinterest? What should we do? Let's assume we have a blog and we want to get more traffic to our blog. What should we do? What is the strategy there?
Yeah, so you've got to put up pins. Pins are the content on Pinterest. So where a lot of people get tripped up is they think, okay, I have 100 blogs and I've got to create a graphic that's for Pinterest for 100 blogs, and they get overwhelmed and they're not doing it. Conversely, you also have the bloggers who they're just starting and they only have 5 blogs. So they think, well, I can't start with Pinterest yet because I only have 5 blogs. The reality is you can make as many pins as you want for a single piece of content.
Right.
So even if you only have 5 blogs, you can create 10 pins per blog and you have 50 pins to go up on Pinterest.
True.
And then you're resharing them and repinning them. Also, if you have a ton of content, you've been at the blogging game for a while, it might be intimidating to think of all the pins you have to create. Start with your Google Analytics and figure out the top 5 to 10 landing pages or traffic drivers for your site and start there.
Right.
So in order to use Pinterest properly as a business, you have to put up pins that are connected to a page on your website that you want to drive traffic to.
All right. Okay.
It's simple. There's a lot of strategy in there at its core. Again, it's a search engine. So the keyword strategy really comes into play with Pinterest. It's essential. So you've got your graphic. You've got to know the keywords that go along with where you're driving that traffic to, whether it's a blog or a product or whatever it is, and make sure those keywords are in the pin titles and the pin descriptions. And that is how Pinterest starts with their algorithm. They call it seeding in the feed, like you plant a seed. Once you get a pin graphic up where you've got good keywords and descriptions and all of that, that is how it starts showing up in the feeds when people are searching for those keyword terms.
Right. So basically, you need to use it as a search engine. It's not a social media. You have to stop thinking at Pinterest as a social media. You have to use it exactly how you would use Google at the end.
Yeah, and if you're a blogger, you've probably looked at the Google, the keyword finder, whatever it's called.
Yes.
You do the same thing on Pinterest. So when you're putting together your blog or you're putting together the pin graphic and the description, you want to do the same thing where you're searching for keywords on Pinterest to put into that description.
Right. Okay, let's go back to the pins, because you said that you have to put there a lot of pins, and it was really, really smart, the technique to create different, well, a good number of pins for a single article instead of creating a single
Yes.
pin for each article. This is really smart, and it's a great technique. But how should we create those pins? What do we have to put in those pins in order to get clicks and so get traffic to our website?
Yeah, there's some best practices for graphics. The most important of which is they have to be a 2:3 vertical ratio. I recommend 1,000 by 1,500 tall. So the reason for that is they're more high res, and my Pinterest ads rep has said when you promote pins, you should have that higher res pixel quality. So I'm not going to redo anything. I'm not going to create a smaller one and then recreate it when I want to do a promoted pin. I'm just going to do it all the same way the first time. So 1,000 by 1,500. Good photography, whether that is stock photography or your own, however you get your photography, it needs to be very high quality.
Right.
And you do want to put verbiage on the pin graphic itself because Pinterest actually reads the words on the graphics.
I see.
Yes. So to that end, you want to make sure if you have like a scripty, pretty font, that it's readable on mobile. That's a mistake a lot of people make. They want to do the whole pretty font, but on a mobile device, nobody can tell what the word is. And so people don't know what they're clicking through to.
Of course.
So you want to make sure that your pin graphics are branded, meaning you've got your logo or your URL on it. And the colors and fonts you use are part of your branding for your graphic design for your business. You want people to be scrolling and know that a pin is yours because of the colors or, whatever it is, the way the pin is set up. So what I work with my students is coming up with templates. A lot of people use Canva. I use Canva too. There's some other ones out there that are great. Easel is really great. You can always use Photoshop. But coming up with templates where you just have to switch out the verbiage in the picture and you've got a new pin graphic. So that makes it easier for a lot of people to not start from scratch every time.
Okay, so to remind again our users about how to create their pins, they should use, you can use Canva or they can use other tools that are similar to Canva. The size should be more or less something like 1,000 for 1,500, right? And
Yes.
they have to be recognizable. So if someone is scrolling Pinterest and they already open a pin of yours, for example, and they see another pin, it should be recognizable that it's still your pin. So you have the same style, same colors, same look and feel at the end.
Yes.
Right?
That brand recognition that we all want, right?
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Yes.
Makes totally sense. And then after we created those pins with Canva or any other tool, where should we put them? Like, do we have to put them on our profile or where to get traffic? Because I guess that when I start, I don't have any follower on Pinterest. I have 0 followers. I can put all my tags, all my keywords, everything. I can create the best pin, the best image possible. But then will I get traffic or can I do something else to get traffic to my pins?
Yeah, so you have to put the pins up on Pinterest to connect it to your website. So that's the only way anybody's going to get to your website from Pinterest is clicking through from one of your pins. So when you set up a profile and you've got your keywords and all that, I recommend a minimum of 10 boards that are different subject areas around your industry. So don't think of Pinterest as a portfolio. It's not.
Okay.
It's not a place to like, here's all the amazing things that I do. You have to think in terms of how are you serving your audience? Because again, they're coming for ideas and inspiration. And I have yet to meet a single person that knows everything about everything, right? So there's going to be other things to share. So I think of my boards as almost a Venn diagram of what people that are my audience would also be interested in. So I have several boards around Pinterest. I break those out a little smaller because that's what I do. But I've also got boards about email marketing, website design, copywriting for sales pages, because I know my ideal audience is an online entrepreneur. That's who I love teaching to. And those are other things that online entrepreneurs are also looking for and interested in.
Right.
Right. So when you put up your pins, you have to save the pin to a board on your profile.
Right.
So when you go to create, it's like a little plus button. You create it, you upload the graphic, you put in the keywords for the title, you put in your pin description, you put in the URL on your website that you want the pin to link to, and it makes you save it to a board. What you want to do is save it to the closest subject board that relates to your pin. And then there's a lot of other theories or not theories. There's a lot of other strategies afterwards about, repinning via Tailwind and some of the other scheduling tools that we have for Pinterest specifically. But in essence, that's what you do. You set up your boards, get everything keyworded, and when you create a pin, it has to be saved to a board.
Got it. And all right, so I created, let's say, 10 pins for a single article, right? I have those 10 pins. Do I have to save all of 10 in the same board? So at the end, I have this board that is, for example, web design, and I have 10 pins, all 10 pins there in my board for web design, all 10 pins that are linking to my article. This is the strategy.
Totally fine.
All right, so it's totally fine like this. Even if there is repetition, even if there are 10 pins that are leading to
as long as the graphic is different. So you can have, so Pinterest looks at a fresh pin as a pin that has a different graphic and at least a slightly different pin description. If those two things are correct, then it doesn't matter how many pins go back to the same URL on your website.
Right. Okay. Got it.
It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So as long as you're creating, and that's what I mean about the pins are the content on Pinterest. It's not about your, article or your blog on your website. Yeah.
And do you need to pin do you have to be consistent with your pins? For example, it's something important, like it could be important for YouTube that you need to post a new video, that you need to upload a new video every week, because YouTube is gonna help you getting more audience and getting more traffic, or this doesn't make sense on Pinterest?
Yeah, you do have to be consistent. And I think that's true for pretty much every marketing, digital, anything now, whether it's your email newsletter or social media or what have you. You do have to be consistent. And they have said, Pinterest, they have said, consistency is more important than how much you pin. So what that means is if you're only going to pin 2 to 3 pins a day, that's fine, but pin 2 to 3 pins a day. If you are, like a lot of business owners, they get really excited about something and they put up 10 pins a day for 2 weeks and then they get burnt out and they don't do it anymore. That's like the worst thing you can do for your profile. Of course. So that's why I use Tailwind, because it's a scheduler. So I can actually batch all my content and put it into my queue in Tailwind and not worry about it. And then I know it's consistent and happening the right way.
Right. Tell us some more about Tailwind, because I know that many watching this video, they don't know what Tailwind is. I mean, it's a scheduler like Buffer, for example, for other social media. But why is it important to use it for Pinterest? Why should you use it for Pinterest?
Well, the cool thing is about Tailwind, they do some Instagram scheduling now, but they really were specific to Pinterest for a very long time. And it's definitely one of those, I mean, like me, being niched down into Pinterest, they've gone really deep instead of doing a whole bunch of different things at a surface level. So not only can you schedule your pins as often as you want, but they have something called a smart schedule, where it will look at your profile and see where your followers or your audience is on Pinterest and when they are on Pinterest repinning.
Right.
So you don't have to figure out what's the best time of day to pin. Should I pin more on Saturdays than Tuesdays? Any of that business, they do all of that for you, which is incredible. And they also have stats on everything you have ever put on Pinterest since you opened Pinterest.
Right.
So it will tell you, your pin that has been repinned the most time. It will let you look at the top content and refeed that into your queue. So you're keeping those top of mind. It gives a lot of really great insights and analytics that Pinterest does not, way more in depth than what Pinterest itself does. So not only do I like it from a data strategy perspective, because I can go in and say, this pin did really well last year, so I'm going to make sure that I, refresh it and do it again this year. But the whole aspect of it just taking that consistency off of your plate and having a schedule that you don't have to mess with. It takes me about an hour and a half to batch 300 pins for a month. I do a month at a time. So
sounds
pretty great.
Cool. Sounds pretty cool.
Yes.
Okay, so this is a tool people want to be on Pinterest, they need to use. Do you have on mind any other tool apart from Tailwind and Canva? Do you have any other tool that people can use to get more traffic or get Pinterest work better for them?
I mean, that's really all you need. If you've got the graphic design down, the other tools are going to be things like Google Analytics and your keyword research. As far as apps and software, Canva and Tailwind will get you all set.
Nice. So you don't need a lot of stuff. And I understood that Pinterest works even with videos right now. Videos are working pretty well on Pinterest. Do you have any advice on that? Because you're doing that thing, because I'm not sure about that. I heard about that, but actually personally I tried to do that and it didn't work for me. So I stopped posting video there, but if you can give me an advice, it's gonna help me as well.
Sure. So Pinterest came out and basically said, we want everybody to post video. We're in the video game now. Everybody do it. It's going to be so amazing. What they didn't tell people. So, when you use Pinterest and you're used to, you tap on the pin and you tap on it again and it goes through to the website. Video pins don't work that way.
Right.
With a video pin, when you tap it, it's just play and pause. So they don't actually click through. They can click through, but you have to search for the link to click through to the website. So what people are finding is they get really excited because when you search on Pinterest right now, the very first thing that comes up are, here's all the videos for the keywords that you searched. And they're getting a ton of impressions. Pinterest is really pushing it, and people are seeing the impression numbers and thinking, oh, this is going really, really well. But they're seeing almost no click-throughs.
Right.
Because the pin itself doesn't work the way people are used to Pinterest working. So that's not to say it won't change in the future, because it's a platform just like everyone else where it changes overnight sometimes. But I would say don't put a ton of effort into a video strategy on Pinterest yet. If they change the functionality of video pins to where you can just tap through instead of play and pause, I would reconsider that. But the way it works right now, you get a ton of impressions and it doesn't do anything for you.
Right. Maybe it could be a tool to grow your brand and just get out there so people can see can watch your videos, they can get familiar with you.
Good awareness. But then how's that any different than Instagram or everything else, right?
Of course. Yeah, at the end it's the same.
So there's lots of other social media out there that are great for brand awareness. That's not what I come to Pinterest for. So I would say you're creating 5 pins for a new blog. Maybe one of those be a video pin just to get it out there, but I would not go all in or concentrate on that strategy yet.
Totally clear. And what about the ads on Pinterest? There are Pinterest ads. Do you suggest to use them or not?
They are awesome. Promoted pins. The turnaround that I have seen with clients and myself, I'm talking like 300% return on ad spend has been incredible. I think
Mm-hmm.
part of it is that there's less competition so far on Pinterest. I have a client right now that is getting 50 cents an email.
Mm-hmm.
I have had clients, it's starting to get a little bit more expensive. Last year, I had a client that was getting emails for 8 cents, not a click,
Wow.
an email.
Mm-hmm.
So they do work. They have fantastic results. They're not difficult to do, and they're not as expensive as Facebook or Instagram. But I will say, just like Facebook or Instagram, it's really easy to give them your money and not know what you're doing at
Mm-hmm.
this point, as far as not really getting results because you don't really know what you're doing, but they'll still take your money.
Yeah, of course.
So really learn like what you need to do before you start throwing money at something and then saying, oh, it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the other thing is that Pinterest went public in 2019. So, as a publicly traded company, they are very concerned with their stockholders now, and that means ads and ad
Mm-hmm.
spend. So, we have seen in the last 6 months them hugely change and put a lot of obvious effort and resources into their ads platform that they have for Pinterest. So, I've been saying for a couple years, like, get it while the getting is good. Well, we're at that point where there's going to be some shifts with them now being a public company and their bottom line being related to people advertising and paying for advertising. So it's still very affordable and it's fantastic. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
But learn all you can about it now.
Got it. Really, really
Yeah.
interesting. Okay, thank you very much, Cara. It was super interesting. You already have your website below your face, so you can see it here, but you will see it at the end of the video. There is your
Right.
website there, but if you have any other link where people can find you, go on.
If your audience wants to try Tailwind, I do have an affiliate link, but they will get
Mm-hmm.
30 days for free.
All right.
And I can give you that as well. It's just carachace.com/tailwind if they want to try it.
Mm-hmm.
As a scheduler, they'll get 30
I'm gonna
days
put the link
to
below
try
the
it.
video, definitely in the
Perfect.
description.
Thank you. Thank you. It was so nice to chat with you.
No, it was really nice, really nice. It was really interesting because we don't know so much about Pinterest. Usually we talk about other tools, other social media, other search engines, and Pinterest is like something hidden, and we never talk
Yeah.
about that. But so it was really, really
Opportunity.
interesting. Definitely,
Yes.
definitely. Okay, thanks again, Cara. I hope that you'll be on the show in the future again. And for now,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Thanks. Have a great week.
And you.